Live from Tijuana, Mexico. Here I am with...
Carla McClure.
And Carla, what are you doing down here? Where'd you come from?
I came from Lake Tahoe, California, and I'm an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese medicine.
Cool. Now, what brought you down?
I've been coming down here for 15 years for dental work. Been following Dr. Huggins for 30 years. And then a few years ago, you joined the practice and have offered another whole suite of diagnostic tools and treatments that complement what's happening here already.
I got to tell you, about 15, 20 years ago, I was looking for a dentist. Research the Huggins protocol. That's how I found it down here, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have any dental work at all, look up Hal Huggins. Brilliant. Decades ahead of his time. Now you came down with some labs and stuff, too.
I did. I send people down here all the time. And so people ask me about dental work, especially because in the United States it's so expensive. And sometimes it's hard to get in with dentists even. And you don't have the complementary therapies like the IV vitamin C, which is really important from Huggins protocol to have that at the same time for recovery. And actually, some of my friends were having recurrent root canal infections, which you're never supposed to do or redo a root canal.
No.
And I said, you need to go down there. They will help you. And so I bring people down and refer people down all the time. So yeah, I came down with two of my friends, and now we come regularly, a couple times a year. And we do some IVs, we get our adjustments, we get our teeth worked on.
So coming from Northern California, Lake Tahoe's gorgeous. No problems crossing the border. I mean,
oh, no.
Normally I talk to people about taking charge of their health, but you're already understanding the body's smart.
Right. Well, you can fly down. It's an hour-and-a-half flight from Reno. And they pick us up at the airport, drive us across. In this case, we actually drove across because one gal has a place here, so she's used to driving across the border. But normally we get picked up at the airport. The shuttle gets us here in 30 minutes, and that we're right into your appointments. It's super easy, and the hotel is excellent. There's lots of excellent food around here, even juice bars. If you need liquid diet after your dental procedures, right across the street, two organic juice bars.
And they'll even blend up the soups or whatever you want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend blending a steak, but they'll blend up.
They have a bone broth at La Fonda across the street.
They do.
Yeah. They'll do a bone broth for you if you need a liquid diet after your dental work.
When you get down here, the neat thing is by law you got to be prescribed antibiotics and pain relievers. But doing the vitamin C and everything, I mean, I even had an extraction and I never had it, and I'm not that tough. So
extractions aren't always that painful. It's when the drilling sometimes.
No, afterwards?
Afterwards.
Yeah, during, I want to be knocked out.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I didn't need anything. Now, because you're referring patients down here, too. Have they ever had any problem whatsoever coming down here?
Nope. Everybody's been totally happy, and they've been continued patients, and they've referred other patients as well, other friends.
You mean that's like propaganda up there where they're saying it's dangerous?
No, it's not dangerous. This is a really safe neighborhood. You can walk around to the restaurants and the malls. I mean, this lifestyle is just like in the United States. As a matter of fact, some cities, I would say parts of San Diego are not as safe as Tijuana.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, there's parts of Santa Ana that I would not recommend walking through at the night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we walk down to the mall all the time. And it's probably an eighth of a mile away, quarter mile away.
Yeah, and there's actually one of the gals I brought down runs a organic farmers market up there. She's involved with the farm to table, and she found out there were like 3 organic farm to table restaurants within walking distance of the hotel here. So we went on a gourmet tour in the evening.
Oh, cool! And there's a hot spring.
Excellent.
Okay, this is called
hot spring.
Well, it's called Hot Water Avenue, Avenida Agua Caliente. Okay, and there's a hot springs down the block, about 2 miles. I've been down here 4 years in practice, and I've been coming down here since I was a little kid with my dad. I've never gone to it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know it was there.
I know. Someday we got to go together, experience it, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I mean, you've already told people it's safe, take care of yourself, everything else. Normally, I don't interview a lot of healthcare professionals, but I mean, you already know. What got you into natural health? Like, what started this?
Well, I mean, I also grew up in the Bay Area, like in Berkeley, in what's called the Gourmet Ghetto, with the start of the organic movement. So that started with Chez Panisse restaurant, wanting to grow those organic, the organic greens that you get in the bins that are ubiquitous everywhere. That started in Berkeley with this woman, Alice Waters, who also created farm-to-table gardens in the school district in Berkeley. So I grew up in an area where we already were thinking about health. And then I actually lived in Europe for 3 years, where you just go to the farmer's market every day. You have a small refrigerator. You get your milk from the dairy store, which is freshly made, yogurt and cheese every day. And, then I also, was interested, during college, I was a rower. I was an athlete. I rowed with the U.S. development team. So rowed at an elite level, undefeated national champions in crew at UC Berkeley. And I went to an acupuncturist and a chiropractor for all my injuries in school, and a massage therapist that did applied kinesiology. So all my injuries were treated and pain relieved. And when I was rowing with the U.S. development team, a lot of people were getting injured and not getting correct treatment because they didn't have the money or health insurance, or they just didn't know. And so I really wanted to study that and decided to go to acupuncture because, one, you're licensed as a primary care provider in California, and you can order lab work and imaging, and you can refer directly to specialists. So it gives you a little more power, but it also gives you a different lens to look at people's issues from to treat it. Because in Chinese medicine, the connections in the body with the meridians, which connect to the teeth, which this is the system Huggins uses too, is the meridians connect to the teeth, connect to the spine, and when you're balancing that out, you can achieve that optimum health. So for me, that herbal medicine, plant medicine, the planet supplies us everything we need.
So when she's talking that her co-athletes were not getting the correct care, you mean taking a chemical to alter your physiology or your adaptation?
Or even
or your body
the orthopedic doctor at UC Berkeley misdiagnosed my condition. I have a short tibia. So left tibia is a quarter inch shorter than the right. My brother has the same thing. And my hips were out of alignment. So the chiropractor was like, well, they just said, oh, your right leg is shorter because that right hip is down and the left hip is up and forward because the body's compensating. And they tried to put a cotton heel lift in my right leg, which made my knee irritated. And my brother said, you need to see my chiropractor. He worked for a chiropractor in Oakland. And he said, well, I won't be able to sell anything until I balance your hips out. Then we can see what your legs are doing. And then my leg looked the same because the left leg has compensation features in it. And the second chiropractor I went to did the applied kinesiology, but he also did x-rays of my bones so he could measure the bones. And he said, left tibia is shorter, but you have more space in the left knee, more space in the left ankle, so your body's already compensated. So he did the muscle balancing, and I would knock out resistance in 2 planes of motion just walking because I wasn't walking on my whole foot. So he taped my foot, and when I could go a week without losing the resistance, then he cast me for some orthotics, and then I was out of pain. So I was rowing and I was in pain, and then I was out of pain. But his method was way more scientific than the orthopedic doctor at UC Berkeley, who just looked at it and went, oh yeah, your right leg's shorter, because they just measured the unbalanced body.
If you know how many hundreds of people...
And I
get people in here that say, oh, I have scoliosis that runs in my family. We'll take an x-ray and there's no scoliosis. Mm-hmm. Or I've got a short leg. It's kind of like my arm's short.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Okay, there.
Right.
Find somebody that does a real objective analysis would be a good idea. So not that they're making up stuff, but they're not thorough.
They're not thorough. A lot of times nobody does a health history. I mean, I've had kids come in with pain and they've been to 5 doctors, and I'm like, well, what happened right before this happened? And they're like, well, we were playing soccer in the parking lot with, sandals. I'm like, okay, you didn't have the right shoes and you were playing on a surface, and they damaged their growth plate, right? So then they were in pain, but nobody asked what happened right before it. Their mom said, you're the first person who asked what happened right before. That's what was the lead up?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, brilliant. Okay. If you're close to Tahoe, go see Dr. Carla. Okay. How can they get in touch with you?
I'm in Truckee, California at Joyful Life Acupuncture, and I have a website, joyfullifeacupuncture.com, and 530-386-4851 is
Yeah.
the number.
And when
And I
her
do
next trip
herbs.
down, come on down.
Yeah. We're going to be bringing some people down. Jody and I are going to, we're going to try to bring groups of people down.
That's cool. I mean, I've seen a couple of groups down here, you know, from Oregon and Scotland, and it's kind of fun. Okay, it's totally fun.
Well, it's fun to come, you know, and do the healthy things together.
Yeah.
You know, and support each other in our health as we, you know, go along at home.
So if you're going to party like rock stars, party with health. Okay. God bless you, dear. You're amazing.
Thank you.